So we're going to switch to a broader conversation now on the market and the evolution of DI. I'm pleased to welcome with me on stage Megha from IDC. Megha, welcome. How are you? Please join me. Super happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
We've been working together for a bit of time. We've had a survey together 2 years ago.
Yes.
Which I think was the first on Decision Intelligence. Today we're going to talk about the new survey we're releasing, but before we go there, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you so much, Fred, and hello everyone. I'm Megha Kumar. I'm the Research VP for Analytics and AI at IDC.
Okay, so I talked about, very briefly as an intro, the work we've done together 2 years ago, the work that you're launching the survey today.
Yes.
Right? So we're getting people to give you access to that document. Let's talk a little bit about the evolution of Decision Intelligence in the last couple of years. What have you seen? And I can give you the clicker.
Yeah, sure. So the evolution of Decision Intelligence. Now, before I get to the study, if I could talk a bit about F1 driving, right? Most F1 drivers, on average, react 0.2 to 0.3 seconds faster than the general population, right? So what they actually do while they're inside those race cars is that they're consuming data, because there's a lot of telemetry that is communicated to them. They also rely on their experience and their intuition to be able to navigate the laps of a race. Essentially, what they're doing is that they're engaging in what is called a situational decision. Now, you're all wondering, there's also a coffee cup over there. What's happening there? So, did you all know, when you go to a Starbucks, the company actually states that you can make around 170,000 different combinations. So your coffee order is actually one of 170,000 decisions you could have made in the morning. But we're human beings. We're creatures of habits. So
Black coffee for me.
Exactly. I do an Americano with a splash of milk, right? So what do we do every time we go and order a coffee? We're engaging in what is called an operational decision. And that is exactly what happens within an organization. You're either making an operational decision, which is what happens majority of the time. There are times when you have to make a situational one, and other times when you're actually engaging in a strategic decision. Mm-hmm. But in addition to that, what we found was that many a times when you're making decisions in an organization, you have to consider so many different factors depending on the type of industry that you're in. Unfortunately, in some cases, the processes of making a decision are not standardized. Sometimes users do not have access to data as and when they need it, and let alone the fact that organizations actually use different kinds of applications to make decisions, right? Some rely on dashboards, others want planning applications, others require BI tools, others require recommendation systems, and so forth. So in 2023, when we did the study, we noticed that enterprises had just started introducing AI into decision making. In 2025, fast forward, AI has become a bit more integral, and we decided to look at how AI impacts the 6 competencies of decision intelligence. Mm-hmm. So what are those 6 competencies? There's the acquisition and organization of data. There's the analysis of data. With AI, you can perform simulations. There's recommending decisions, executing decisions, and most importantly, monitoring and evaluating those decisions, right? And interestingly enough, by using decision intelligence, what organizations have is a continuous intelligence loop, from getting data to making decisions to capturing feedback and actually improving upon the decisions that they have made. So as a part of the study, one of the things that we did was that we realized that there's certain organizations that are actually ahead of the curve. They've actually connected all these different types of the different competencies and are able to actually gather feedback. And we call them decision intelligence leaders. And those that are not there just as yet, we call them decision intelligence followers. And more importantly, I think what was interesting to note was how decision intelligence actually helped the leaders, especially in terms of achieving decision consistency, the fact that they were able to take a consistent decision. They were able to have improved decision quality along with governance, as well as speed and agility, right? And this is where followers were lagging when it came to decision making.
Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about adoption.
Right.
We heard this morning, just a few minutes ago, from two amazing companies. Talk about the evolution of adoption of DI.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Fred, I think earlier today you mentioned one of the results
I
from
stole
the
your
state.
fire. I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
I'm sorry.
all good. But as you said, most organizations are thinking about solutions that they can implement to support and automate their decisions. So we decided to double click and ask within the survey, where are they right now in terms of implementing decision intelligence into their organization, right? And I think what is interesting to note is that nearly 90% of the organizations have, 20% have stated that they have implemented it in multiple functions, others in select areas, others are planning, and 12% said no current plans. But what is important to note is that organizations are thinking about how they can leverage decision intelligence. What I think is more important is the next slide, where we asked organizations, what kind of platform are you deploying, right? And 60% indicated that they were taking a unified DI platform. And I think this is crucial because, firstly, as I mentioned, organizations tend to end up with multiple solutions to make decisions. By having a unified platform, you gain wider visibility into how decisions are being made. You're able to capture the impact of a decision. You're able to see how it was executed, and you're also able to get some feedback to improve the quality of the decision that is going to be made. And that is important because if you think about it, many a times when decisions are being made in silos, you lose institutional knowledge.
But you also talked earlier between the coffee and the Formula One, like the decisions span from situational to structured to automated. So this is where I believe the platform comes to play as well.
Exactly, because the platform also gives you access to be able to reason and see how these decisions are made on a day-to-day basis, right? And how they can refine it further. And one of the other aspects to think about is that what are the areas in which decision intelligence can have the most amount of impact? And no surprises here, especially after you have heard from Hershey and Gallo. Supply chain, operations, logistics, and procurement, those are areas that would really benefit from implementing and advancing in the use of DI, followed by sales and marketing, finance, and IT. And it is not just about decision consistency and quality. Decision intelligence leaders actually experienced improvements in their operational business metrics, right? 75% of them stated that they saw an improvement in operational efficiencies, along with customer satisfaction and loyalty, along with risk management as well. So it talks about the fact that it's not just about consistency and quality of decisions, but it is the fact that it also has business impact.
It'd be interesting to correlate the 75% with the use of the platform.
Yes.
We haven't done that.
Yeah,
but that would be interesting. Next time.
Yeah.
Next time. Let's talk about how AI decision making is being leveraged, how it's raising, and the differences that you've identified.
For sure. And you know what? When it comes to AI, let's acknowledge the fact that AI is becoming very strategic for organizations. And this is a great place to talk about one of our first predictions. We're at the tail end of 2025. So one of our first predictions says IDC. By 2030, 60% of new economic value generated by digital businesses will come from companies that are investing and scaling up their AI capabilities today. Right? And AI is being introduced in decision-making. It allows for proactive, contextual, and data-driven decision-making. And organizations are extensively investing in AI, right? And even within the survey, the companies that we interviewed from across the globe indicated that at least 90% of them were transforming their organization using AI, right? And more interestingly, a lot of them had already started introducing AI when it came to business decision-making, right? Some are using AI-assisted decision-making. Others are thinking about broader use of AI as well.
So you talk about AI, but can you double-click on the agentic
Of course.
right? Because agentic is a subpart of AI, but one that's really relevant for today's conversation.
For sure. And I think in 2025, I'd be remiss if I did not talk about agentic AI, right? So here's our next prediction. Why is agentic AI going to be so relevant for all of us? Because by 2031, 60% of the G2000 CEOs will use agentic AI for strategic decisions to help them navigate market volatility, innovation speed, and the need for faster intelligence-driven choices at a boardroom level. The fact that AI is actually going to help in strategic decisions, not just operational or situational decisions, which they can do now.
I think that also ties to what Nitin was talking about earlier about also the ability to measure the impact of decisions across the value chain.
Yes.
And bringing that into a single model is going to be absolutely critical.
Exactly. And you know what? AI agents actually help organizations to be able to plan, decide, and act, especially within defined parameters, right? And if we had to talk about the evolution of agentic AI systems, right? Initially, when Gen AI came to the forefront, a lot of it was around, co-pilots as well as assistants. And what did we all do? We had humans in the loop. We needed a human to validate the decision that the AI wished to execute, right? Where are we right now? Some organizations have actually started deploying autonomous AI agents, right? To do low-value tasks, you'll still have a human in the loops. But as trust develops when it comes to AI recommendations and technology improves and policies start maturing, you'll eventually see AI agent fleets across organizations. And this is where we start transitioning to being humans on the loop, where you work and collaborate side by side with AI agents. So within the study, what we decided to ask organizations was that, how do you see your organization using AI moving forward over the next 12 to 18 months? And no surprises in the results. Majority of them still feel comfortable with AI answering data questions, AI simulating decision outcomes, in some cases also automating decisions with human oversight. Only 17% said that they're comfortable at this point in time in terms of decision-making with minimal or no human oversight, right? So this talks a lot about where organizations are in terms of their level of trust in using AI. But as I said, as trust improves and technology matures, organizations will scale in having more human on the loop and AI and human collaboration.
So I just want to react to that because it's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for more than I care to admit. I started thinking about Era back in 2010, writing the first paper on what Era is today back in 2010. But it's been in my mind since I've started working in analytics and software in the last millennium. Can we say that? Yeah, okay. Defines my age now. This is the first time, and Sharik and I talk about this quite often, in the last few months, where I feel like technology is way ahead of what organizations understand they can do with it. Mm-hmm. So for the last 30 years, I've been pushing the engineering team to catch up with what the market wanted to be.
Right.
And right now, I feel like the tech is ahead, and we now have to spend time educating, building the trust. And we've had two incredible examples. We'll have more this morning of companies that when they literally embrace the technology can get this level of results in the time span that is not standard for enterprise software deployment at scale.
Right.
So I just want to get, I know it's not necessary, but get your thoughts on that, because I think as it's taking off, that 17% is going to go up quickly. The tech is already there.
Yes.
It's a question for organization to realize what they can do with it.
For sure, and I think a lot of it has to do with change management, with education and awareness around the different types of skills that are possible, as well as the use cases that are possible when it comes to decision intelligence.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, many organizations want to be able to engage in real-time decision-making as well. Yeah. And that is where the technology will actually help them achieve those kind of outcomes. Yeah. Right? And that's why it's
I think intellectually people get it. I think they don't know it's possible. And it's been made possible literally over the last, at that level of sophistication, it's just happening now. So this is going to be interesting. So Megha. Yeah, I love the IDC predictions. Tell me, pick your 3 best predictions and share it with us.
Yeah, for sure. I think I shared this prediction already. And to reiterate, By 2030, 60% of new economic value will be generated by digital businesses from companies that are investing and scaling up their AI capabilities today. A digital business essentially means a large chunk of your revenue is actually coming from digital products and services, and a lot of companies today are digital businesses at large. The next one, this is a really interesting one for all of you to think about when you go home. By 2029, G1000 organizations that measure AI-human collaboration will have operating margins up to 15% higher compared to those prioritizing AI productivity alone, right?
Okay.
So let's double-click this a bit. It's a bit of a mouthful. If you think about how organizations measure the impact of AI, what are organizations doing, right? Raise of hands. How many of you have said AI has improved productivity in my company? There you go. So a lot of organizations tend to measure the impact of AI by looking at productivity alone. But what organizations really need to do is look at new types of metrics that look at AI-human collaboration. That is how humans in this loop actually bring in creativity, right? And AI actually helps them as well. So when you think about it, let me give you an example. Augmenting decisions. AI gives a recommendation. A human being is actually able to think about, okay, can I actually improve by using this AI recommendation at large, right? Also innovating at scale. So don't ever measure what is AI doing by itself alone or what humans are doing by themselves alone. Think about what is the combined impact of human beings leveraging AI insights or human beings leveraging their creativity in terms of, and using the feedback from AI to move forward, right? So increasingly, those kind of organizations that are able to achieve that balance are the ones that will have improvements in terms of their operating margins as well as their profitability at large.
Okay,
right?
yeah, one more? Two more. One more.
One more.
Sorry.
And the last one, to reiterate the impact of agentic AI. Why does it matter? Because 60% of the G2000 CEOs by 2031 will use agentic AI for strategic decisions, not situational or operational, real-time strategic decisions that will be driven by the need to navigate market volatility, speed of innovation, as well as the need for faster intelligence-driven choices at a boardroom level. And this is going to be the impact of agentic AI when it comes to decision-making.
Megha, thank you so much. So we have, the survey now is released.
Yes.
As of today.
Yes.
So we'll make sure that everybody gets a copy.
Yeah.
Thank you for the partnership. The survey is amazing. You should all take a few minutes to read it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fred.